Hello everybody. I've been asked by a couple of viewers. I've had some questions about my electrical panel and some things going on inside here. So I thought today, since I had a little bit of time, not much, but a little, I thought I would do just a short video on this and address a couple of things that I've been asked about. And maybe a few things that I haven't and people have just been curious about. So what I have here, my main panel, my main service panel to my house, is a 200 amp and it's a square D generator ready panel, which means it's all ready to have a generator hooked up if I decided to do that. And originally that was the plan. I gotta be honest, at this point now I doubt I'll ever actually have a generator hooked up. And since that's the case, I actually kind of regret getting this panel a little bit because you lose a couple extra slots, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But at this point I would have preferred just to have a normal non-generator panel, but that's irrelevant. It is what it is, and I have what I have now, and who knows, maybe I'll put a fucking generator on it at some point just because. So what this means is this panel has two sides. Everything above that middle part right here, up there, and everything below. And everything below is on generator power, and everything above is not. These two sections are connected so that the whole panel does have power. Top to bottom has power, as long as it's coming in from the top. But they are isolated. And I'll show you how in a sec here. And it involves that big triple pole breaker. So let's see what's going on under here. I've already unscrewed this. I didn't want to have to do this on camera. I'm trying to mess around in here in a box. That's just dumb. And I'm talking about electrical safety, so I don't want to be the guy shocking myself on fucking camera. You know, this ain't Electro Boom. That guy shouldn't be anywhere near electricity. I don't know how he's still alive. Regardless. So this is already unscrewed and ready to take off. So let's pop this off here and get that out of the way. So what we have is now, as you can see, bottom half of the panel is totally divided. So how this is hooked up is your power comes from this side of the panel. You've got your double pole here, so you've got your two out of phase, 120, 120. So you got 240 volts, so you're still feeding everything there. And that's where this big 3-pole comes into play, because as you can see, this has its own, the bottom half has its own separate neutral bus bar, and it has two neutral bus bars up at the top, on the top half. So this triple pole breaker comes into play in that you've got your two 120 legs feeding this side of the panel. However, this bottom half has a special tab under here, and I'm not about to pop this heavy friggin' cable off of here. This shit's hard enough to deal with, so fuck that, especially trying to get it up to 100 amp. It has a special terminal under there that connects to the neutral bus bar in this panel, which is that wire runs down and is what connects the neutral bus bar to this half of the panel and through the breaker and up into the main neutral bus bars. So when this breaker's turned off, this half of the panel is completely isolated. No neutral is getting up to the top half. You know, so that's not happening. And the reason for that is because your generator hooks up here. So you've got your neutral, your line, and your line. So when you want to run generator power, you got to turn this off. Now that, as you can hear, I don't know if you can hear, my furnace just shut off because my furnace is down here on the generator side. You would have to shut that off and then flip this on. Now this one, this coming from your generator, this will provide power to the bottom half of the panel. And that's all that gets power when that's like that, in that configuration. And that's why the neutral is broken, because otherwise you would be feeding generator power. You have the potential to backfeed electrical through the neutral and back up into here, which wouldn't cause a problem until the street power comes back on, and now suddenly you've got a very bad situation happening in here where you've got electricity being fed in places it shouldn't be. I'm not the guy to explain the technical shit about this. I understand it, but I'm not a fucking teacher, so I apologize if I'm missing a whole bunch of details and any electricians out there screaming their fucking heads off at me. I am terrible at explaining shit. But long story short, it separates, this 3-pole breaker separates the 2 panels. So I got that turned off there. Now let's pretend I have a generator here. No generator power is getting in. So these are both off. Nothing's feeding this. So I flip this back on, and now the power is coming out of here. There, neutral, and feeding down into the neutral bus bar for the neutral half of the generator half of the panel. Yeah, as you can tell, I'm not good at explaining things. If you followed from that explanation, well, you're a fucking genius, probably. So that's what that 3-pole breaker is for. As far as any other use, I don't know. I'm pretty sure these things are strictly for generators or generator-type panels, because otherwise they would serve no purpose. They would end up going across 1, 2, and 3 poles, which would still be 120, 120, and 120, except the top one and the bottom one would be the same phase, so you'd blow the breaker. So unless it's specially adapted like this one is, actually, let me just see if I can take this out of here. There we go. There. As you can see, the neutral. There's your regular, there's your your line 1, your line 2, there's your phase 1, phase 2, right? That's how they go down. If you understand electrical panels, you'll see that that's going to be one phase, that's going to be another phase. You can see it's coming from the different sides, so that'll be like your red, where's my finger, man? That'll be like your red leg and your black leg, each providing 120, but they are separate phases. That's how you get 240 volts out. But as you can see, this 3-pole breaker connects up there to that neutral pole. And that's what gets you neutral bus bar, and that's what completely separates the top half of the panel from the bottom half of the panel. Bear with me here, I'm gonna put this thing back. Alright, give me a sec here. For electrical safety's sake, I'm gonna put the fucking camera down. There we go. Back in, nice and safe. I'm still alive, and nobody witnessed a snuff film here today. Fuck. So that's what I'm working with, and that's why it's a generator-ready panel. And that's what that 3-pole 100 amp breaker is for. And let me tell you, these fuckers are hard to find for 100 amp, because this thing comes in 60. So I had to match this and this. I don't know why they didn't just put a couple of lugs here and, you know, still use the space for another breaker, because this takes up slots that I could have used. And normally there would be another couple of breaker slots here, but they've divided the panel such a way so that you basically lose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 slots. I think this is, I want to say it's like 42 circuit, so you could get a total of 84 circuits out of it with double breakers. But I know that it's like 2 less slots than what the normal standard size is. I just don't remember off the top of my head. So, there you go, folks. That's what's going on inside this generator panel. That's kind of how they work. And if you need any clarification for anything, which I'm almost positive you fucking do with my clusterfucked explanation of how this shit works, then yeah, feel free to ask away and I'll see what I can do to explain it. But other than that, I think that's about the gist, the nearly 10-minute gist of the video and how the panel works. 2 totally separate sides. And the reason it's isolated is, you know, so if your generator's on, you're not backfeeding electricity when the street power comes back on. So, well, that's where she is, folks. And I will be back. I may have another video up tomorrow when I come over and get some more of this stuff done and get more of the wiring done. I've got just about everything pulled back out of the base. Like, it's dark in the house now. I've got just about everything pulled back and unwired, so I'm pretty much ready to start wiring up the basement lighting and getting that all sorted out. Once I have the lighting up, I can start working on the outlets, and what I'll do there is just start doing the grow room, and we'll try and get back to the videos on the actual grow room themselves instead of all the electrical or home renovation type stuff. That is, unless you guys are enjoying that. If you like the home renovation stuff, then hey, give me a shout in the comments and I'll see if I can do more of those videos. Otherwise, you know, I'm just going to keep going with what I'm doing and taking people's suggestions and doing whatever I can to help anybody, man. So, hope you guys are enjoying what I'm doing. I know a couple of people, have said they've enjoyed the videos and the series so far. So, you know, thank you guys. I'm doing it for you, right? I mean, you see any ads on my videos? Not yet, anyway. Just wait, there will be. As soon as I get a chance, but believe me, I ain't making millions off of this shit. I'm happy to spread the videos and share things, and if people are enjoying my content, then that's all I want right there, is just the enjoyment of the content. Share the information, you know? So that's where we're at now. Don't forget to subscribe if you're liking what you're seeing. If you want to be notified, hit the bell. And hey, you know what? If you don't like my videos, if you think they're pieces of shit, if you think it's bad, well then go ahead and still hit that damn subscribe button so that you can be notified whenever I got a new video up, and then you can come talk shit about it in the comments. So, hey, if you like them, if you don't like them, subscribe to the channel. You can talk shit, you can talk nice. So there you go. Thanks for watching, guys. Enjoy your day.